Here we go.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Aurora. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Rin from Scotland to tell us about Pictish Paganism. And with that, I will pass the torch on to you so that you may take the lead.
Definitely good to be a part. It's definitely good to be here. Happy to be invited. So, are we going to start off with an offering tonight?
I think he's trying to figure out how to make you bigger than us.
Yeah, sorry.
It's fine. It's good.
I was trying to make you the main screen.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. Right. Oh,
all right. There we go. We'll put us back up after your offering.
amazing. I'm just entirely seeing my face. This is very interesting. Okay.
Just imagine it like you're looking in a mirror.
Very good looking mirror. I'm kidding. Right. Stop it. My fur baby is trying to eat my wire. Can I help you? Thank you. Right. So I'll just give a small little offering. Nothing big, just a little to get us all started off. And Harlow wants to be a part of it tonight. Thank you. Number one. Do you have any questions so far?
Which god are you going to be offering to?
I don't know.
All right.
A little bit of both. I was debating on who do we do tonight. We've got Coronos and we have the Caelid. So we have two candles representing. And I'm just going to give 3 build mark. Coronos makiriki kung kama. Kinakabiyan it. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Awesome. So, was it the first part? We're starting off. What is Pictish Paganism? So, it's a pantheon that starts right from the beginning of, if you've heard of people called the Picts or the Pictish, obviously it had come from Scotland. And the path has been practiced along with Celtic paganism for about thousands of years, right from into the Highlands. And this pantheon follows a lot of Scottish mythology and a lot of the folk magic that's done. And the type of people that we are, a lot of our knowledge gets passed down through the knowledge in books. So it's not a huge path that's known about, but I want to come on and shed some light a little bit on what I do and what I believe and what we practice.
Well, we are very glad to have you and look forward to the interesting information you'll be sharing with us.
Amazing. So, do you have any questions so far? And you feel like you want to ask?
All right. So, Ren, because I've
Yes.
known you for a little while, I know you're from the Highlands yourself.
Yep.
So your family line pretty much comes from the Highlands, and that is how you got involved with
My
practice.
family line comes with one of the major clans up in Scotland, so we have roots going back up north. right up towards Skye, so into the Western Highland. I live in the eastern part of where I live right now.
Right. And if I recall correctly, Skye is where the fairy pools are.
Oh, the fairy pools. Yep. So there's a place up I'm in a place in Skye. It's got these little kind of waterfall pool called the fairy pools of Skye. And they are the most clearest waters ever. And they say it is blessed by the Fae. And it's inhabited by Selkies.
Selkies. I know a little bit about them.
Do you want me to go on a little, do you want me to kind of shed some light a bit more?
Yeah, give us a little overview of what the Selkies are.
Okay, so Selkies are a type of creatures that are within type of the merfolk category, you could say. They are merfolk-like people that are seals, and they take the full form of a seal. But they're said to be men and women that can take. Sorry, well done. My dog is just banged his head. Well done. So Selkies are creatures that can take off their skin to a man and a woman, and their thing is that they can remove their skin and wear their skin to look like a seal. And they are said to be actually very nice creatures, and they're not your typical mermaids and sirens. They're actually very gentle creatures.
From what I learned, and correct me if I'm wrong on this,
Okay.
If you stole the skin of the Selkie when they came on land, they'd be forced to essentially marry you, and
Yes.
they got their skin back.
Yes. So with that, there's a story of a man. He a local fisherman that lived up in the Highlands, and he one day was going down to his fishing boat down in the loch, and he saw a woman peeling off, that her bottom half of her body was of a seal, and she was peeling off her skin. And these creatures are they're beautiful creatures that captivate humans. And this man had obviously said, I want to take this woman as my own, and obviously took her skin and kept it from her. And with that, she is sort of bound, a type of sire. She's sired and bound to him. And obviously, in the story, they had kids, they married, had a life together for about 20 years. Selkies are known, if they get their skin back, they will abandon their loved ones, their families, and return to the sea.
Very interesting.
Mm.
I'm glad to know I was at least somewhat correct on that.
You were correct. Definitely, I applaud you. A lot of people, some people don't know Scottish mythology.
Well, I am descended from Irish, Scottish, British, Welsh, and Scandinavian.
So I'm second generation Irish, first generation Scottish, and Spanish Romani.
That's an interesting combination.
No.
I used to actually be a Celtic pagan before I became a.
Used to be a Celtic?
Yeah, I followed the Dagda and Cernunnos.
Dagda and Cernunnos. I definitely followed. When I first started out in my pagan journey, I did go to Celtic paganism. Actually, I started off as a Wiccan.
Same here.
I think every pagan
I
know.
That's just like the common stepping stone, where we all just kind of take, and then we just kind of be like, oh, hey, this is what I like. Here I am.
Yeah, I think every pagan I've met has started as a Wiccan. And it's sort of moved up the ladder to paganism when they learn more.
Yeah.
Because I found myself, I was Celtic paganism for a little while. Then when I started looking into my own, looking at my own, where I came from, my roots, I've read a lot. like within Ireland and Scotland, paganism has ran for thousands of years, deep within our heritage anyway. So I knew of the path, but I didn't really dive into it, not properly.
Right. So it's like you were always around it, but you never really
Yeah, I
learned.
was around and I was exposed to it, but I never took it in until I think I started reading more about Scottish witchcraft so about 6 years ago when I actually started practicing proper craft, I learned more of my folk magic.
Right.
And we recently, actually not recently, it was probably about 2 months back or so, we did an entire episode about mythological creatures, and I believe the Selkie were the ones we discussed.
Selkie.
Yes, we were one of the ones that we discussed.
Might have also mentioned red caps and leprechauns, clericons, and a few others. Although it seems like the couple of creatures that constantly get brought up in our streams are, well, the Fae and Skinwalkers.
I can give you so one of my, there is a creature, well there's the Kelpie and there's the what's her name, what's she called, the Bianai. And the Bianai to me is the most thing that freaks me out. And the Kelpie. Those two are the most. Have you heard of them both? Have you heard any names?
No, I haven't heard of them.
Have you heard? You might have heard of a Kelpie, but I don't know if you've heard of the Bianai.
No, the Bianai, no.
No, that's how it was pronounced. I could never pronounce that, but I'm familiar with it.
Bianai. Do you know her story?
Not very well.
Oh, so you want me to tell a tale?
Tell us a tale.
Here we go.
Remember correctly.
Well, thing is, Rin, this is your show tonight, so.
I know you're telling me it's my show, and it's like I've never had an opportunity, and I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm just winging it tonight, telling some stories, talking about. So, Bianai. So legends say there is a woman, a banshee-like creature, the bogs and the lochs of the Highlands, from the lowlands to the Highlands. She wanders, and they say if you're out on a dark night and you see a woman down by the creek washing the clothes, she is known to wash the clothes of the people who are about to die. So she's washing the blood of people who are about to die, and if you come into contact with her, if you see her, you cannot break that eye contact. Because it could be you she's washing the clothes of next. And her appearance and what she's meant to look like is she's meant to be a very old hag-like woman. Her hair is like wiry, as if it's like wet. Her skin sags. But the most disturbing description is her breasts are so long and saggy, she throws them over her shoulder when she walks.
It just reminds me of a song we used to sing when we were kids.
Your tits hang low, can you tie them in a bow?
Your tits hang low, do they wobble to and fro? Can you throw them over your shoulder? Oh, sorry. Do your tits hang low, do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your tits hang low?
The other ones are the will-o'-the-wisps.
Ah, yes. Will-o'-the-wisps. Now, those are they're like little lights. No, I'm wrong.
Oh. Let me guess. Did you watch Brave?
No, actually, I have never seen the entirety of Brave. I try not to because it kind of annoys me. All those Disney movies kind of annoy me. But no, the Will-o'-the-Wisp, from what I understood, was like a little. You would
a little like light,
and they would lead people astray in bogs.
Well, have you ever heard of a brownie?
Yeah.
They're basically brownie-like creatures that hold lanterns that wander the forests in the paths of a traveller. And they say if you come across one and you follow it, it will lead you to your doom. They lead to misfortune if you see one out, they will lead you to misfortune.
Okay, so I was a little off.
Right, the lights. People do say they look like, but within, I guess it is two types of descriptions. They can be the spirits of people that have passed on, of evil spirit, maybe worsifer spirits. Some people say they're good spirits that actually lead, quote and brave here, lead you to your fate. But then, being honest, Disney don't always get it right.
Yeah.
So it's God
I
of
think
Rock.
even us as Norse can say that because, well, look at the MCU with Thor,
Oh yeah. Oh
Loki, all them.
At some
no.
point,
Granted, they did give Loki a good shot, and they came.
I was gonna say they did do like
They
they did
did
do
do
Loki
good by
good,
Loki
but
because,
Thor.
yeah, Thor now.
but
I don't know so much with Thor.
I do have a bone to pick with Disney's version.
I know. It's
But Loki and Thor really did actually travel often together in the stories. And funny enough, so did Heimdall and Loki. But you won't find those in the Icelandic sagas.
oh yeah. Mhm.
Loki and Heimdall and Odin traveling together, you'll find in like the Faroese sagas. Not so much in the Icelandic lore.
Mhm. No, definitely. Like they did not do justice for Thor, but they did do well for. I'm happy they did do well for Loki, though. I am happy.
They tamed Loki down. They tamed him.
They did.
I know. Is it not even Thor? It didn't even like the actor who plays him. He's not even supposed to look like that. Ain't he a redhead?
Yeah, he's short, fat, and a redhead.
Not
No,
tall, blonde, and
he's not.
chiseled.
He's not fat. There's no description of Loki being fat.
Okay, but
Thor's the only one that's I remember being described as a redhead.
Mhm.
yeah, that's who we were talking about was Thor.
Thor. Yeah. Thor was supposed to be a redhead. Loki is supposed to be. Actually, Tom Hiddleston's a pretty good example of what Loki was supposed to look like, except Loki was supposed to have a goatee and mustache, not a beard.
Mhm.
Contrary to many people's belief, Loki never had a beard in depictions. He was always depicted as having a goatee and a mustache.
Mhm. Yeah.
And when I see that in my head, I picture the goatee and mustache of Gustavus Adolphus.
Kind of like what you got right now going.
Gustav II of Sweden, because he had this huge like curly mustache and this like really long pointy goatee. But yeah,
Is that what you're going for, Hugh?
my wife hates the curly mustache, so I have to shave it off. She won't let me keep it.
Oh.
Otherwise, yeah, I would have the curly mustache.
Mhm. Hey, nothing wrong with a good mustache.
All right, so we are getting a little bit off of topic.
Oh, mhm. Just preparing. I'm preparing out one of my pictures to share my screen with, so I can show you as one of the main gods, or path described to you. So the main god. I'll give you a few of my gods I worship. There is two. Well, the first main god is, I don't know if you have heard being past Celtic, but the Cailleach.
Okay.
And she is an old woman, is the bringer of winter. She's said to walk the lands with her cloak, her white cloak, and it coats the ground in frost of the first coming winter. So she is said to bring winter, the winter. Here's what she's supposed to look like. Do we have a picture? Yes, we do. Here we go. Right, I'm gonna see if I can be able to share my screen with you guys. Be able to.
You should see on the bottom of StreamYard a little button that looks like a monitor. It says share. Yeah, just click on that.
Share screen. You guys are able to see what I'm seeing. You're
You might
able
need
to see.
to give it a second after you click on it.
Let me know if you're able to see this image.
That would be a negative at the moment.
Yeah, it's pop up on the bottom of StreamYard so I can add it to the stream.
I could send you the file. What am I doing? I'm not going to stop sharing. I know my laptop really does not like the fact that I share things.
If you want to send me the file, I can throw it up.
I'll start sending you the file for this, and you can put it up. That works for me. I'll send it over to you. Okay.
Discord open again real fast so I can open it up.
There she is. That is it. I can go into a little bit more detail about her and her story. Let's see. There we go, the Kaylee.
There we go.
There we go, he's able to see her.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm just getting up my little notes here and I can get a little about her story. Here we go. So she is known as the All Mother. Of the gods of the mother, and she brings upon the winter. And her cloak is said to be made of frost itself. She comes in those and cloaks the land in the winter, and she looks after all of her children. She is, to me, she's one of my most important. Because in our path, we do believe in gods that share balance with a meaning of different things. And I think sure we all share that on different paths.
I personally believe that balance is probably the most important thing in life.
Oh,
yes.
All things.
One, I do not believe one god cannot control all singular pieces of a point of life in the cycle. I believe each energy and being controls an aspect to give that balance and prosperity.
Oh, absolutely, it does.
Do you have any questions about her?
She just by looking at the picture, she kind of does remind me of that short little grandmother that you have.
She very much is like the grandmother, the wisdom. She going to her for wisdom and guidance is definitely one. Like, she is wise beyond her years.
Right, just by looking at that picture, it reminds me of your sweet old grandmother, waiting for you to come over in winter, and she has a cup of hot chocolate for you waiting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's the
kind of vibe I get from her.
That's definitely is the vibe from her, is the friendly grandmother of all wisdom. What about you, Hugh? Questions?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Okay. Right. We will be moving on. Right, we'll discuss God up. There we go. There isn't an exact picture of this this god. If I can find one. He is meant to be called the Gurudach, and he is also known as the All-Father or the Father. So he is a god depicted of kind of a leader, kind of the head leader over the Fae, an old, more of a warlock type. And he is said to control, he watches over the Fae and over the livestock and the cattle of the people. He's a trickster of almost, but he definitely works with the Gaelic in bringing both land, bringing food, livestock, giving blessings. See if I can get a picture up. I'm not sure. I've not properly seen one because there isn't much of him. Let's see. Can I get a picture of him? Oh, we have one. Here we go. Hopefully, give me one minute. Do you have any questions so far regarding him and what I've described him as?
Well, it sounds to me like a little bit of a mix of possibly Odin, Loki, and
Loki, Odin, and
Yngve Freyr.
Yeah.
Leader of the elves,
Mm-hmm. So I've sent you that little picture there. See if we can get it up.
Should be up. Yep, there we go.
That's him. That's the Guru. The Guruga.
Looks like a very hairy man.
Very, very, very hairy, very creature looking.
Yeah, looks like his nose is a beak as well. Like,
yeah, that's not a creature that I want to run into in the woods.
Yeah, that's not something I want to run into in the woods either. Like, or in a dark alley.
Kind of reminds me of Swamp Ape and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So him and Gaelic are the two known gods when it comes to in Scottish deities and Pictish mythologies. There isn't a lot of the Pictish because it was lost through years. Because a lot of what we know is through the Romans. Of Picti means translate, I think from Latin means painted ones, or ones that were paint. But the name, this isn't the Gaelic pronunciation, but the name given to Scotland is Caledonia. And that's giving from the Romans the ones that mean untamed.
Right.
as the
because the
Pictish.
Romans weren't able to take over
They were
Scotland.
not able to take on my ancestors and the people.
That's why we have Hadrian's Wall over there.
Yep.
Because we are people that are we are big in our craft. We are warriors.
Now, a lot of stories that I've read have described King Arthur as a Celt. That while that is accurate, it's probably more accurate to say he was of a Pictish tribe rather than a Celtic tribe.
There was two known tribes. There was the Gauls and the Picts. And the Gauls were Celtic known people that came over from Ireland and settled into Scotland. So the Gauls and the Picts of the two known. And eventually, years they collided and made because the language my first language is Scottish Gaelic. But Gaelic was not their language, it was something else, but it was lost. They came together and created what a lot of not a lot of Scottish people speak Gaelic. It's very much Highlander, right up north, where you hear it's meant to be known as a dying language. A lot of my craft and anything, like any rituals or anything I do speak in my native tongue. I think that's my best way of connecting with my gods.
I tried to learn Gaelic at one point, but the problem is
Scottish and Irish.
Not many people speak it.
You mean Scottish or Irish Gaeilge? Because they're two different. That's the fun part. They are so two different types of languages.
They're in the same family.
Now this is answering a question that will determine if she takes her knife and throws it through her monitor at you, or she will sit at the same table as you and have a drink.
This will determine, because you've Gaelic and you've got Gaeilge. Gaeilge is Irish Gaelic. Then there's Scottish Gaelic. Which one do you think you were learning?
I was actually learning the Irish.
Irish Gaeilge.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, the problem is that nobody speaks it here. I've met one person in real life when I was younger that actually spoke it, and he was a Catholic priest from Ireland. Recently, I did know somebody recently that also spoke it. And as for Scotch Gaelic, you're the first person I've ever met that actually speaks it.
Capitalize. So that just means thank you. My favourite insult. Well, there is words in Irish Gaeilge and Scottish Gaelic that are very similar. So the word mockery, which means my heart. It's usually a term used of endearment, a little phrase you could say to a loved one that's both used. The same word is spelt, so for night over there in Gaeilge it's Ahab, over here is Oiche. So if I was to come on to here and say to everyone, hello, good evening everyone, it would be hello, Oiche Mahuladunye.
I know a little bit of Gaelic.
You've heard me.
Uskabeha.
I'm gonna have to explain what Uskabeha means. So Uskabeha is a term meaning water of life. And the translation for Uskabeha in English that's the term is water of life, but Uskabeha is also the name of whiskey.
Yeah, Uskabeha.
Uskabeha fits the term water of life, what it translates to and what it's used for. Because it's very true. Whiskey gets the blood pumping.
Whiskey's the only reason the Irish didn't conquer the world.
You know?
A common saying from around here.
Oh, God, what was that? What was that I say to you, Polkmatol?
Yeah, Polkmatol.
Polkmatol, kiss my arse.
Yep.
I teach him all the swears as in
I teach her the Russian sometimes too.
There's a famous band from and I believe it was 1980s, that actually used that as their name.
Hogmatol.
They went by Pog, or the Pogs.
No, yeah, I'm always, yeah, definitely, like, language is a big thing for us over here, especially in our craft of staying true to our roots. Is very.
There's a lot of Norse pagans that believe that learning the Old Norse language is integral to the religion. And while I think that it has its place in the fact that it can be a very beautiful language, I do not believe that you have to actually be able to speak an old dead language in order to connect with the gods.
No,
it makes you feel more connected than
that's
learning the language.
You definitely do not have to speak an older language. I don't believe any language is dead, because there is people that do learn languages, and that's what keeps them alive.
The definition of a dead language is one where new words are no longer being added. It doesn't mean that the language is not still spoken. It's just there are no new words being added to the lexicon.
Was it over in Ireland? Gaeilge is taught in schools, where over here it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a petition, a ban's going around for the Parliament to actually bring it back to schools here, which I 100% agree with, for people that want to learn. Because it's a language that should not die out. They should encourage it more to speak. Because there was a time where it wasn't, probably back, probably even to 80, 90 years ago, it was, even to 100 years ago, it was illegal to speak. Not illegal, but very not forthright to speak. Mm-hmm. Especially in schools by children when it was their first language. It was not encouraged enough.
Mm-hmm. Back during the early 1900s, and around the time of the start of the Troubles, if a soldier came up to you and asked you what your name was and you didn't respond in English, you were in for a beating. And that's a good way to kill a culture, and it's not right. Language is an integral part, in my belief, to a culture. So being able to revive a language that has fallen into disuse is a great way to celebrate and revive a culture.
So we have the term here of having a drink. Do you know what it is, Scald? Have you heard me say it?
I know I have, but every time I have, I was already 3 sheets to the wind.
Slanchava. So that means like cheers and good health to you.
In Gaelic, in Belga, it's sláinte, from what I understood.
And then typically for us,
that's like one of the few like Irish words that American Irish people actually know.
Definitely sláinte. We do at the but sláinte is definitely, they will say it different. Sláinte and sláinte.
I think it depends on where you're from.
Where you go, really, it definitely does mean where you go. Same as like with the word evening. Yes, because over here, obviously, I said with the word night. Oiche over here in Ireland, iha, and it's beautiful. Like, just the same. It can mean the same word, but sound so different.
Just like the name of Ireland in Gaelic, it's Éire, but you'll hear people here saying Erie, and I'm just like, Erie's a lake in the Midwest,
and also a city in Pennsylvania.
I know. Because here we would in Scotland it is Alba.
I thought Alba was a specific place over there.
Alba is the Gaelic name for.
So, what are some of the symbols commonly associated with Pictish paganism.
Oh, we're going into the Pictish stones.
Aye.
I do have a picture that you sent me earlier.
Yeah, one of the stones. I can. So they were, and currently today, they were people that believed in obviously telling stories and legends through carvings and stone runes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put that on the.
And there's a lot of these are scattered out through a lot of Scotland out of rock runes. And let's see if I can get some more symbols of what they mean. I can send you a little thing here, and it tells you what they are. Let me find. I have it here. Save image. I'll send you this, so then you can pick it up. Do you have any questions about the stone?
No, it just reminds me of like how the Norse also did it. Oh yeah, like did that as well. We left like a lot of rune stones as well.
Yeah, the carving
stories or some sort of manuscript or something.
Well, the older cultures like the Picts and the Gauls and Celts and the Norse, while they had quote unquote writing systems, like in Ireland they had Ogham, and Scandinavia they had the runes, they weren't a widely used writing system. So a lot of stories would be passed down by carving.
Yeah, through rock carvings. That is a lot of how their storytelling and things were shared. There's a lot through carvings. And I've sent you a little thing here that that describes a little bit of what you might see and what it is.
Okay.
Give a little description on. Tell you a little bit of what things that were kind of used.
Monkey?
Sorry, what?
Is that a monkey? Or a cat in like the lower right-hand corner?
Yeah.
Because it kind of looks like a monkey to me.
I think that's meant to be a dog.
Okay.
Could be a dog.
I assume it's meant to be a dog. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's meant to be a dog.
Now, monkeys aren't native to those islands, but the Celts would be familiar with them, as Celtic people did migrate from continental Europe, and monkeys are native to continental Europe.
I'm very tempted to send in a picture of what the pics were described to look like, if you'd like me to.
Go for it.
Go for it.
All right. You can get a good look at what my ancestors are meant to look like. As I said, most of our knowledge and stories were obviously the pics were told by the Romans of what we were supposed to look like. We're tall, warrior, tall people.
What I was always taught growing up was that various tribes of the Celts and Gallic peoples would paint themselves in different colors. Like, for instance, in Ireland and Scotland, blue was a very common color.
Blue. Each symbol, so a lot of each tribe wear its own type of, each symbol would have a unique meaning to that tribe.
Yeah, and from what I was also taught, like the Celtiberians would paint themselves with orange. Many of the same symbols, but instead of blue, they would be painted orange.
Definitely, we were a scary people to mess with.
Yeah.
Now, there is debate about whether or not the description of the painted people meant that they were painted with
Tattoos.
tattoos or painted with some sort of pigment like ochre.
Mm-hmm. I know it's very hard to say.
Like tattoos aren't very common on any preserved bodies, like in the bog bodies. So
Mm.
it's
I
highly debated.
very much is. I very assume with myself they are people that had worn types of tribal paint for their own tribes.
Hmm.
And even today we do during rituals, we do the same.
So do a lot of Norse pagans. They will paint themselves in preparation for ritual. I myself have not done it before, but I do plan to do so for a big ritual at some point.
Wow.
I just don't know what I would use to do so, what designs I would put. I'd have to do some more research to finally
Mm-hmm.
nail down what I'd want to do.
I have a few excuse me. I got a Scald knows on my TikToks, I definitely do a few Pictish TikToks of the markets.
You do quite a few.
I do definitely do quite a few. Um, I'd love to kind of teach and bring that to like people say, you know, those type of people are the Pictish are the people are, you know, long gone, and it's really we've always been here. It's just a new age.
Right.
We never disappeared.
And we do have planned for next week. The stream is going to be about creating rituals, and part of that will be ritual attire and how you prepare yourself. You'd be more than welcome to join us for that one if you would like. You're always welcome.
Oh wow. We kind of what I put is said each. I can't speak for all people that follow the Pictish, the pagan path. I can't speak for everyone. I speak for myself on what I follow. I give the general points about the path and the history that goes with it. But for me personally, I do see the fic of my. I'll give I will wear tartan. I will paint myself and wear my clan tartan of my family's colors.
Well, tartans are more of a relatively modern creation, from my understanding.
No, they
Like,
go back long beyond. No, they
specific
go.
tartans for certain clans or something may not
So,
even date back more than a few hundred years. Like I know for my family's clan, our tartan isn't actually all that old because we don't know what the original clan colors were.
so how the different types of tartans go back longer than what you would exactly think. They changed throughout century. They definitely from the Pictish, like they did not come till about the 16th century, of modern. So kind of beyond that, they came in different forms. Obviously now here as a tradition they're worn, you know, for special events. A lot of it's weddings, so like the family colors, and they're worn back during you know, the Battle of Culloden, you know, back in the 18th century and 17th century Scotland. They were worn by the clan people. So in that type of, you'd have a system, you'd have the clan, then you have the chieftain. The chieftain was basically the head, the chief of the clan. So I'll give you a name, the Clan Mackenzie, for example, one of the oldest clans in Scotland. The chieftain would would grant access into who would be in that clan. He was the decider of that territory. There was definitely throughout Scotland, the land was divided through the territories when the clans were a thing before they dispersed, and each clan had their own tartan, their unique colour to their family. Then you had with the clans, you would have families, like their last names that would come from that clan originally. So names would disperse, new clans would come out. So because after the Culloden battle, that's when the kind of Highlander way sort of, a lot of it died out. Because that system is not really a thing here anymore.
I'm definitely interested in seeing how the Pictish religion evolves in the modern time as it starts to gain more adherents.
Yeah, because a lot of we take from a lot of his folk magic. So when we so also from the Celtic, we also take things within the Celtic as well, because it is such an old religion, an old religion from Ireland. We do have similar things that we practice. I do have Celtic gods and Pictish gods that I put together that I also celebrate to give balance into my life. Like Brigid, the Morrigan, Daenerys, are a part of my worships and deities.
Right, which, especially with how Pictish is, if I'm correct, it's so the information isn't always all there on a lot of things.
It isn't all there because they're still discovering even now more about ancient Scotland and back in that time and the time of
much as how they are with ancient Norse.
Yeah, they're still figuring it out. A lot of what been told is through stories of families and folklore is what a lot of what we get through our magic folklore and legends. And within because of how it evolves nowadays is within a lot of with our own legends and folklore of our countries. And Pictish paganism is I think with all paganism, very a nature-based pass on being connected around you to your ancestors, the land you walk on. And you do not have to be from, I want to make this clear, you do not have to be from Scotland to follow the path. That's the great part. You do not need to be from Scotland.
And that's much like what I say about Norse paganism. You don't have to be of Scandinavian or Germanic descent to follow.
No, you do. You do not need to be.
The only requirement is that you feel the call of the gods.
Yeah,
right.
There is the depict of with a lot of Pictish people, we also get called Scottish witches. Witchcraft is also the other name. That's where a lot of it. People, because I knew someone that they were from America and called themselves a Scottish witch, and I said, you actually can't call you that. You don't have a Scottish nationality. You weren't born here. And it's like that's where it comes in with the cultural appropriation and not gatekeeping.
I do actually feel there's a big difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation.
Yes.
Though there's going to be an entire show just about that, because honestly, it's one thing if you are properly and honoring the faith, doing everything correctly, if you are showing the proper reverence for what it is you are doing.
Yes, of course.
I don't consider that cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation, I feel, is when you are nitpicking and taking little pieces and you're not showing the correct reverence for the history of what it is you are doing.
To me, it comes with people that wear family tartans when they're not from that family.
That I have to agree is cultural appropriation.
That's cultural appropriation. You can. I agree. Anyone can wear a kilt. That is absolutely fine. But it's I think people like it's if you don't acknowledge like that it's from a specific family of a last name. So like I won't give out my last name. I have family Tartan. And an older tartan connected to where my family roots come back where my last name goes back to with the older clan. I hold that dear to my heart. I have definitely no problems with anyone wearing like anything. I feel like it's the acknowledgement of saying that this isn't my this like I feel like when people I feel like don't give it the recognition it deserves.
Right.
I'm going to share something real quick. One of my screens.
Okay.
Now, there are 4 different tartans for my clan.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yep, definitely.
Now, depending on where you're from.
Yeah, there is different types depending because they would come from multiple places out with Scotland.
The one I commonly see is the one with the yellow in it.
That is a very popular.
The branch of my family from Avalon. The Carol O'Reed one, that one is specifically to a specific branch of the family from Ireland. The Carol one on the top right and on the bottom, those are the 2 less common ones that I see, but they apply to a wider range of the family.
Definitely. Like within in Pictish Paganism, family, everything. Family is a big thing for us and for me personally with this in our paths. Same with the Norse, family is all.
Exactly.
Because even though being a different path, Skaldheir is my pagan brother.
I don't
help each other out when we've both been in rough spots.
Yeah, you don't have to actually believe in the same gods or even have blood in common with someone in order for them to be family.
Oh, exactly. Definitely. It does not have to
know that
be the same path.
My blood family, I don't have the greatest connection with. I don't even speak to most of my blood family. Most of them just never call me, never try and contact me. So while they're blood family, I don't consider them necessarily like true family, because true family actually cares and they'll talk to you, contact you, and try and keep in touch.
There is blood family.
Exactly.
You can't choose your blood family, but you can choose your true family.
Exactly.
Definitely. I think that's everything in paganism we stand for is to be a community. Excuse me, I keep yawning. God, it's 1 a.m. for me.
Exactly. I was about to say, well, it is 1 a.m. for you.
It's so late. I know.
Well, we are at just about the hour mark for the stream. So, Ren, if you want to send me your Instagram and your TikTok, I can throw those into the description right when this is over. I will also be posting links to the books that you sent me so that people can check out some research on Pictish paganism.
Yeah, definitely.
You're more than welcome to join us on the stream anytime.
I would love to.
I know it's for you over there, but
it's fine. It's only 1 a.m. It does not bother me. I will send you over my Instagram. How do I? See if I can figure out how to share. I never know how to work technology. I wasn't meant to be born in this era.
You can just send it to me on Discord, and I'll plug it into the description when we're all done here. Ren, I thank you very much for joining us and teaching us a bit about Pictish paganism. It's always nice to see other outlooks on pagan faiths. And
Definitely, I'm happy to have come on and shared a little bit about my path, and for everyone else that wants to come and learn about it, I'm more than happy if you will have me to come on any other streams and be a part of like conversations and give different looks. Like I'm a big Skull knows me. I'm a big debater, a big discussion.
Yeah.
You can never shut me up.
Now, while the Heathen Constellation is technically a Norse pagan geared organization, a Norse pagan geared kindred, we are also technically an eclectic kindred. We do accept people from other pagan faiths into our fold, because you can always learn more by looking to other sources. Just looking at your own faith isn't necessarily enough. Sometimes it helps to look at stories from other faiths in order to better understand your own.
Yeah, I feel we can all learn something from each other. I think we can all learn one thing. We all have to stick together, you know. We pagans do need to stick together regardless of our paths. So we all share the same goal. Equality, peace, kindness. We all share those values, and I think that's what's pretty amazing.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to modify my usual saying for the end of the stream. Not only is there no true one true way when it comes to faith, but love is the way.
You know what? More than I agree with.
And with that, we'll go ahead and end the stream here. You'll be able to find links in the description to our social medias, such as the Instagram that I never post on, links to the Heathen Constellation Discord and Patreon. All of the old Dancing Goats and Angry Cloud shows will become Patreon only videos here shortly. Some of them already are. And, well, I will be plugging in Rin's social media into the description as well once we are all finished up here. And with that, I'll leave you all with these final words. Remember, there's no one true way. Skull.
Skull.
Sláinte mhath.
Have a good night, all.